Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie and I am a Bachelor of Social Work student and currently doing my field practicum at For a Safer Space. Today, I will be talking about a dialectical behavioral therapy self-help skill called pros and cons. You may already be familiar with a pros and cons list, weighing the positive benefits of a certain decision or action you may want to take with the possible negative benefits of that action to then determine what you should ultimately do. Today's pros and cons self help skill will be a little different in that we're going to learn how to look at the pros and cons of tolerating or not tolerating the distress of a situation. Just to give some background information on what exactly dialectical behavioral therapy is, DBT is a form of psychotherapy that teaches people how to better manage difficult emotions and potentially self destructive or harmful behaviors by teaching them new skills. The main goal with DBT is to teach people how to live in the moment and develop healthier ways to cope with strong emotions while simultaneously improving their relationships with others. It was initially developed to treat borderline personality disorder. However, it is now being used for the treatment of many other kinds of mental health disorders as well. This pros and cons skill are a distress tolerance skill. And what I mean by that is that it is a specific type of skill or intervention that helps people learn how to manage distress in healthier ways. This can be especially helpful in situations in which you feel you have no control of and need help managing your emotions and the ways you react as a result. Today's distress tolerance technique will teach you how to identify a crisis situation that you are experiencing and look at the possible consequences of the potential actions you want to take as a result. First off, you would need to identify the situation in which you are feeling in distress. An example could be that you had an argument with your partner because they are not supportive of your new job. As a result, you may be feeling a lot of strong emotions. Secondly, you would make a pros and cons list of whether or not you should tolerate this distress or not tolerate it. An example could look like this one on the slide, while the way you structure your list may be different, which is completely fine. In fact, with practice, you may become so good at this that you can even do it in your head. However, as a starting point, we will use this table today. When deciding the pros and cons of tolerating the distress, you would look at the benefits and the disadvantages of tolerating the distress. Using the example above of you having an argument with your partner because they are not supportive of your new job, the benefits of tolerating the distress could be that it would give you more time to calm down and reduce the chances of you saying anything you don't mean and may regret. The cons can include having to put in extra effort to control your emotions, which can be hard, or not being able to fall back into old habits of causing drama as a way to reduce stress can increase painful and strong emotions for you in the short term. Similarly, when looking at the pros and cons of not tolerating the distress, you will look at the benefits and disadvantages of not tolerating it. Continuing with the same example, the pros and cons of not tolerating this fight you're having with your partner may include acting impulsively, which can make you feel better in that moment. It may bring you comfort in acting out. However, some cons of not tolerating this distress might lead to you and your partner breaking up, for example. It may also result in you feeling guilty and shameful for acting out. Lastly, it is important to consider both the short term and long term pros and cons. For example, acting out when in distress may make you feel better in the short term, but as a con, it may lead to a loss of respect from your partner in the long term. Using the same example, the correct answer may seem obvious. Many may say that it would be best to tolerate the distress because it would give you the time to calm down and reduce the chances of saying anything you may regret. However, when you're in the moment and experiencing strong emotions, the answer may not be so obvious. Thus, it's important to practice using this skill. You can start with a situation that is not as intense and that you may not feel strong emotions for. There is no right or wrong answer. You're just practicing how to think differently when in a crisis situation. To give a summary, the goal is to learn how to better deal with difficult and strong emotions more effectively. So DBT pros and cons can help you do so by helping you how to identify and look at the consequences of your potential actions. As a distress tolerance skill, it will teach you how to better tolerate a crisis and make the situation better. However, it is important to find what works for you, and with more practice, the easier it will become to use these coping strategies.